Hello, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me. And as we get started, I'm letting people in. It's like I am like seriously multitasking here. Uh, so everyone, you're coming in. Hey, Allison. Hey, Shay. Hey, Cassette. I am Felicia Jones, and today we're going to talk about marketing your brand with virtual speaking gigs. And I know all of you are here through the wonderful community. Hey, how are you? So I'm not going to, I do try to have a very interactive session. So if you do have questions, put them in the comment box and I will answer them as I go. And then of course, at the end, I'll let you be able to come off, to come onto the screen and turn off your microphone. Let me hear you. Now, if you hear a lot of noise in the background, I'm so sorry about that. I'm officially your travel entrepreneur, resident expert, and I'm doing all of this in my RV. And of course, the day you decide to do a presentation, that's when everyone wants to work on the road behind you. So you'll have to excuse any of the noise. I can't make them go away. I wish I could. So we're going to go ahead and get started now. So of course, let me know how you're doing in the chat. Any question you have, throw it in the chat. The people are working on the road behind us, so you're just going to get a lot of construction. If you didn't know what construction sounded like, you're probably going to hear that today. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can get started. And I'm going to keep letting people in. I'm going to be multitasking like crazy. This is going to be fun. All right, so while we're in here and we're going to be talking about virtual speaking gigs, so I need all of you to let me know what it is that you do, what's your focus in the world of travel, if it's not travel and business, how do you want to use virtual speaking, and where are you right now in the world when it comes to virtual speaking? I want to be able to answer any questions that you have. And of course, I'm not going to put a whole lot of people on the spot, but I may ask a question or two. I may ask a question of two of you, and somebody has their microphone off. So I'm going to mute you. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm sharing. So like I said, I am Felicia Jones. We're going to be talking about marketing with virtual speaking gigs. I got all the buttons going. I have multiple monitors. So if you see me looking in all kinds of crazy places, that means I'm just trying to keep up with everything. So like I said, I am your resident wonderful expert talking about travel entrepreneurship. Not only do I run a company where I find speaking opportunities for people, but I also love to travel. I'm an RV person. So I'm in the RV right now. So you might see a dog or a husband walking by. So that's why we're going to be talking about virtual speaking gigs, because I have absolutely loved being virtual and still being able to travel while doing this. Like I said, my company is called I Find You Clothes. You can come check us out over at ifindyoukclothes.com. We actually go out and just research speaking opportunities. I have been on the other side. I've been on all sides of speaking. Not only do I book speakers, been on selection committees, I have been a speaker, been on television, I've been a TEDx speaker, and now I'm in the realm of researching. So I have a very unique perspective on all of this. If you want to keep up with me, and I do travel, you can follow me on at Keep Up with Mrs. Jones on Instagram. All you're going to see right now are pictures of me. You're going to see pictures of me kayaking and getting lost because that's what we did yesterday. Hey, Allison. Allison says, I'm a speech language pathologist and I travel presenting to other SLPs, providing their professional development. I have other ideas to future speaking and travel, but this is where I am right now. Cool, Allison. Thank you so very much. For everyone else, throw a little something in the chat box so I'll know where you're coming from. And seriously, if you have any questions, just ask. There are no silly questions here. All right. Annie says, indie travel is my focus, teaching other people how to create their own international travel experiences or working with them one-on-one to put their trip together. I've done some virtuals and in-person speaking. All right, cool. So Annie, so you're kind of there. So now we just got to get more gigs. All right, so let's go ahead and just jump right into this. And I'm going to give you the outlook for 2022 because like I said, my background is in research. I was a computer scientist for the Navy. So I just know how to find stuff. And I also just kind of know how to like look at what's going on in the future. So the thing is virtual, even though some of us are going back live, a lot of events are going back live, their virtual components are here to stay. A lot of communities are only doing virtual events. Some are doing, they call it hybrid, where it's a little bit of in-person, a little bit of virtual. And what this means for you is that you have tons of opportunities tons of opportunities to stay in your RV, to still be traveling around the world and being a part of large events. The expectations may be, the outcomes may be a little different, but you still have the opportunity to grow your brand, to build authority, and to get your name out there. Remember, your only job as a content creator is to wake up and ask yourself, who needs to know my name today? And the more you can do that while you're still doing what you love, it's going to be amazing for your brand. So when it comes to the virtual gigs right now, what we're looking at, we're having virtual live presentations, just like I'm presenting to you right now. So that's still going to be a thing going live. Pre-recorded sessions. Now, this is something that has definitely been going back and forth, but seems to be more prevalent for larger events, and that is pre-recorded. Basically, you come pre-record your session, and boom, it's there and you are in the mix as if you were live. And a lot of events are wanting you to just come on and just hang out in the chat room for pre-recorded sessions. And then we have on-demand sessions and workshops, meaning it's another pre-recorded, and you give it to the event host and you see what happens. And you really do have to set yourself up very differently with all of those types of events so that you can get the best out of them. I'm actually doing 3, 6, 9. Okay, I had to do some counting. Wonderful is making me do a lot of work these days. So I have to count and admit a lot of things at the same time. All right, so that's the outlook for 2022. So let's just go into what it is that you need to have in order to be a better virtual presenter and to land more virtual speaking gigs. The very first thing I have to say is you need to have something to say, period. And unfortunately, I get a lot of phone calls from a lot of speakers or a lot of people who are jumping into speaking. And usually they start with, hey, Felicia, I just like to talk. And I know you like that, but sometimes that's just not good enough in order for you to get booked often and more frequently when it comes to virtual speaking gigs. And the thing is, when we're doing virtual speaking gigs, it's very different. There's nobody, I mean, there's no live people for you to talk to. So you have to talk to this camera. The interaction is going to be very different. I have a feeling I'm going to have to ask a question like 5 times before people like even turn their camera on. But you have to be ready for that type of engagement. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a very different experience. So you need to have something to say. And what you need to do is really just start digging into yourself first and just asking yourself these questions. What do you bring to the table? What is your knowledge? What do you know? What is of value for an organization, not just an individual person, but for an organization to book you to come in and present to their people virtually? And you have to really start thinking at all the things that you do, you know, even with Annie and Allison, I want you, if you want to do more of these, you got to sit down like, all right, what is it that I can bring to the table? What is it that I can be consistent with? Not just because I know how to sew, because I know how to bake cookies, because I know how to do this. No, no, no. The goal is you need to become known for something, and you need to figure out what that is so that you can bring it to the table. Because when I was out there booking speakers, my thing is I have an audience, but there has to be a return on investment, because I'm not going to give you access to my audience if I don't know what it is that you're talking about. Okay. And then you got to decide who it is that you want to talk to. Now, a lot of people say, I could just talk to anybody. And here's the thing, if you can talk to everyone, that means you get booked by no one. All right. You need to niche down, depending on where you are. You need to focus on a group of people that you can bring your value to and your knowledge to on a regular basis. So this is where you're going to have to do that brainstorming and figure out, okay, I love talking to people who make popcorn. So I want to go to every popcorn convention in the world so that I can talk about travel and blogging and all that kind of stuff. And I will warn all of you. Now, I know the easy thing for us to do. Here's the easy thing for us to do. Now, we're all in this travel community right now. We all love each other. We love travelers and we love being around them. Talking to your peers may not be the best thing for you. Sometimes talking to your peers is you're going to have to go above and beyond what they already know. So this is where you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone, and go and talk to other people. I have been a part of the wonderful community for a while, and I've been a resident expert for a couple of years now. And the way I got into this community is because I wasn't a travel content creator. I love travel, do it all the time, love travel bloggers, love it, love it, love it. But I originally came into this community as a money coach and a money expert. So that's why I'll be rotating and talking about money. And that was the uniqueness about me, is that I came into this community and it wasn't a group of, it wasn't necessarily a group of my peers. It was the people that I admired. And I knew that I can bring something to the table because I knew exactly what they were doing. I knew exactly how they were managing their money because I was doing the same thing, and I knew exactly how they were traveling. So you got to step out of your comfort zone. Okay. Talking to your peers is great and is great practice. It's great fun. You will always have fun amongst your peers. But if you want to get booked on a regular basis, you got to step out of your comfort zone and go find some people where you can be the unicorn, and becoming the unicorn gets you booked more often. Allison is saying, yes, I'm an expert at engaging students via play-based and project-based learning. There are a few conferences out there that I'm aware of where my niche bleh, would certainly fit. I just have not reached out to any of them yet. Allison, I'm gonna have to pick on you a little bit, Allison, because we're gonna have to do what you haven't been doing, and that is reaching out. So I'll tell you a few things that you need to do as we go. All right. And then finally, you need to determine, why should someone listen to you, period. Remember, I was booking speakers for about 4.5 years. You need to convince me why I need to book you. Remember, this is a sales. When you become a virtual speaker, you are selling yourself. And it's just like any other product you have. You gotta let me know why I gotta book you. And just because I put speaker in my title is not good enough. And I've seen that. We've all done it. Like, well, I call myself a speaker. Like, yeah, so it's Oprah. I'm gonna book Oprah. Okay. So you gotta kind of think about why people should listen to you and why they need to book you. All right. Any questions so far? Put them in the comment box. Yay. All right. Number 2, you got to find communities you identify with. Remember, you're going to find your peer communities, but you also got to find communities and organizations that need you. And remember, we have so many virtual components these days that this is where the research is going to be on you. Just like Allison said, she knows of some conferences and events that could use that knowledge, but hasn't taken the time to reach out yet. So this is where you're going to have to do that research and find who you jive with. Okay. You need to find groups you understand. Like, I started reaching out to travel communities because I understand them. I can also reach out to women in technology. So when I am getting paid to speak in live, I go and speak to women in technology because that's my background. So you need to find groups that you understand and they understand you, because you're going to have to do that gut punch when you are talking to them so that they'll pay attention. You need to find events that fit into your world. If you're trying to speak for people who only need you to be in person, this virtual speaking gig thing isn't going to really work for you as much. So you need to find events and people and groups that are fit into your world. I always say, if you're going to take this effort to speak, you might as well have fun with it. I know we all like to be all stiff and collared up and be professional, but there is a conference for everything. There's an event for everything. And if you don't believe me, trust me, I have found them. There are cookie conferences. There are trampoline conferences. There's conferences that you would probably never tell your parents about, but they are out there. And if they get you excited and you love them, you can bring your knowledge to them. So you need to find events that fit into your world. Okay. Looking at your, oh gosh, this is where you have bad slides. This is basically looking at your world a little bit more closely. Look at all the fun things that you love to do. Trust me. Somebody throw something out at me in the comment box. Like, what are some things that you love to do outside of travel? What do you like to eat? What do you like to wear? If you have makeup preferences that you have, just let me know, because I can prove to you that there is something out there for you. Annie says, eating all the things, super foodie here. So basically, food conferences are in abundance, Annie, and I have come across quite a few food conferences, from vegan conferences to soda conferences to cookie conferences. I literally crashed a cookie conference. And it had the sprinkle makers, all those people there. So you can find all these things out there. So just look into your world and match and figure out what your knowledge is. If it's traveling, all that kind of stuff, you can take your knowledge to those worlds quite easily. And then of course we got to look at virtual groups and virtual meetings. There are so many groups kind of like Wonderful that offer content just like this. So this is where you got to get on the social medias and look at who has large, who has engaged Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, got Clubhouse groups that you can bring your virtual knowledge to. All right. So you got to start looking at those. Also, we have local chamber of commerce. If you want to go local, a lot of groups have the ability to do a lot of virtual. They're looking for virtual speakers. And if you're trying to get in front of an industry that is kind of wishy-washy with it, then now you have to market yourself as, I just want to be an additional virtual component to what you have. Just in case for those who can't leave home, things like that, you're going to just market yourself as somebody that can be in addition to, and just bringing extra value to what they're already doing. Design and designers. All right, Shay, what kind of design and designers? I have seen clothing designers, shoe designers, wine label designers, beer label designers, graphic designers. So just light bulb designers. There's a conference for light bulb designers. Did you know that? And then there are conferences for colors, people using colors in marketing. So trust me, I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and I've seen there are some days I'm like, I didn't know there was a conference for that, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. So yeah, so you're gonna have to just start playing around. One, look at where your peers are, look at what you were trained to do educationally, and then look at the stuff that just makes you fun. Yes, there probably is a kayak conference. I do know there are tons of outdoor conferences and things like that. So for you outdoor lovers out there. All right. So number 3, when it comes to you have to market yourself as a virtual speaker. Now, what I mean by this, if you are trying to land more speaking gigs, you know who you want to talk to, you know what your content is, you know what you bring to the table. Now it's a marketing game. And one of the things I do love about Wonderful is that there are other experts in this world that are great with marketing. So you can kind of take bits and pieces from them. It's not much different than going after these brand ambassadors. It's the same thing. You have a product, you got to get somebody to pay for it. All right. So when it comes to marketing yourself as a virtual speaker, you need to be very explicit that you are knowledgeable and you can bring results as a virtual speaker. You need to put this on your website. I prefer that you have a speaker page on your website. You need to update it with photos of you, either virtual, with your cameras and everything, or you on stage, just so that people like me will know that you are a speaker. So update your website. You need to be clear on your talk descriptions. You maybe 3 things that you talk about. You don't need to talk about everything. Remember, confused minds don't book. Confused minds won't book you. Okay. If I see that you can talk about everything from growing tomatoes to life coaching to diversity and inclusion, I'm going to get confused as to what it is that you do. So this is where we need to narrow down that focus on your knowledge. Okay. Have a couple of talks, have your descriptions there. Make sure people know that you can show up virtually for on-demand workshops or pre-recorded sessions. Now, if you want to speak live, you do that too, okay? But we're going to make sure we know that people know that I am knowledgeable and can bring results as a virtual speaker. This needs to be on all the things that you have, okay? It needs to be there. And also you need to show credibility. This isn't much different than any type of speaking gig. Show credibility. If you have testimonials, if you have logos from events in the past, make sure you show that. If you have videos of you on stage, videos of you presenting, and those of you who are presenting, make sure that if you're going to show those videos, we want to see that there are people actually at the thing. Because I've seen all the things when it comes to speaking, and I hate to say it, that sometimes we can get a little creative with pretending that we were on stage. All right. So we want to make sure that we have real proof that you actually were in front of an audience. And then testimonials. What did I just say? Testimonials. Oh my gosh. Get testimonials. Let the testimonials share what you are, let other people showcase you and what you bring to the table. And also I got to do a shameless, is it unshameless? No, sir, I have a survey for you after this because I need your testimonial and I need you to tell Wonderful that I am just so amazing and that was glowing today because I, put on my sparkle face. But no, you got to make sure you have your testimonials and make sure you have that ready to go so people can give those to you. And then the other thing is you need to make yourself available. On your speaker page, you need to say that I am available, book me now. You'd be surprised, a lot of us will say that we are speakers, we're virtual presenters, but I have no way of contacting you. And I know you could say slide into my DMs, but not everybody's on LinkedIn or Instagram or on Twitter. You need to kind of make yourself available on all these platforms. It's a pain in the butt, but you need to make yourself available by one, telling people that you are available to speak, and then make it easy for them to contact you. That's the thing. You got to make it easy for them to contact you. Put your name on your website. The number of websites that I've gone to where people don't even have their names on it. And they don't even have a picture of themselves. So just make it easy for people like me to say, okay, you're kind of cool. But if you make it hard for me, I'm just going to move on to the next person. I won't go to Shay. I'll just go to Annie, or I'll go to Allison, because wait, Allison's website is the bomb. Shay is asking, how do you approach the results and credibility part if you have zero experience starting out? Shay, I'm pretty certain that you have some experience somewhere. So what you want to do is start reaching out to the people in your immediate network. So this is a great question, Shay. Thank you so very much for that. Reach out to the people in your immediate network. Reach out to some friends and say, hey, remember when I designed that trip for you? Can you give me a testimonial? Hey, mom, remember when I kind of organized the family reunion? Can you give me a testimonial? Yeah, you want to start with that. You want to start reaching out to the people who know you. Reach out to a couple of coworkers that you trust to kind of give you credibility with your knowledge of whatever it is that you do. So that's what you're going to do. The other thing that you can do, if you are starving for testimonials and feedback, present something. Do a virtual speaking gig and invite all your friends, invite your friends. I mean, you're inside of this wonderful platform. Just say, hey, I'm trying something out. It's absolutely free. Can I get at least 10 of you to show up because I need some testimonials or I need feedback? So you got to take that leap and put yourself out there and invite people to see what you're doing. I know it's going to feel weird, but it's probably the easiest way for you to get your first round of testimonials, your first videos, things like that. People need to be able to see what you're doing. And I'm one of those. Invite me. If I have time, I'll come. You may not want all my feedback because I'm very honest, but invite the people around you so that they can come and give you some feedback so that you can get those testimonials, those photos, and that video. So Shay, let me know if that answers your question. And thank you so very much for that. That's a really good question. How's everybody doing so far? Everybody's perfect? Everybody's gonna go land gigs tomorrow? Yes, I know. So make sure you, if you have any questions, just throw them down here and I will have some time so that we can just chit chat. I promise you, I will not bite you if you ask me a question. Annie is doing great. What are you guys doing for lunch today? I'm like hungry already. All right, number 4. All right, here's the deal with you. Period. You need to upgrade your tech and you need to upgrade your gear. You need to upgrade your knowledge. We are still, I know we've been doing this virtual thing for about 18, 19 months now. So it's very interesting to me that a lot of people still have not upgraded all the things that they need to. I know we have some great laptop cameras and things like that, but it is time for you to upgrade your gear, period. If this is how you're going to be doing presentations, especially if you want to market yourself as a virtual presenter, you need to look good. You need to look good. I'm not saying that you got to put on all the makeup and have a flawless face, but somehow, some way, you need to look good. And that means you need to sound good. That means you need to have good lighting. I mean, gosh, lighting helps you not wear tons of makeup. Lighting is the gift of the gods. Make sure you know how to do that. If it's time to update your laptop, update it. If it's time to update your phone, I understand we have financial challenges with all of this stuff, but if you can, if this is where you're going to make your money, if this is how you're going to build your credibility, make the update. Learn how to use your phone. Oh my gosh, how many people of you have all these $1,000 phones and don't know how to use them? Yes, I'll wait for you to raise your hand. So make sure you know how to use your phone. I mean, at this point, I'm in my RV right now. I am hot spotting like crazy. My husband has this magic thing that I can use my data instead of hotspot. We have a Wi-Fi booster. So like if I can't be here, I know how to quickly get back on. And this is the thing with virtual speaking. You need to not panic, but know how to get back on quickly. Update your sound, update your web camera. And because we're talking about virtual, and because I'm talking to you, because you're a travel person, everything needs to be portable, okay? Everything needs to be portable. You need to have portable tripods. I really can't show you my gear at the moment because if I move my phone, everything, this thing won't go well. But behind me, I do have lighting. I have multiple monitors. I have monitors that look exactly like iPads. They're this small. I travel with all of them. And I have my microphone, which is not like a Yeti or anything, but this is a microphone that goes to my camera, so I can take my camera out. And that's my regular camera. So this is where I'm saying you're gonna have to upgrade your tech, make it portable for you to take with you, but you also need to learn it. Just because you have it doesn't mean you may not know how to use it. Also, you need to learn all these streaming platforms. I mean, you don't have to go and learn them, but you need to be okay with them. Because right now, the streaming platforms are out of this world. I mean, not only do you have the Instagram platforms, you have YouTube platforms, you have Facebook, you have Twitter, you have Clubhouse. Now we have OBS, Open Broadcast Studio. We have all of these different things. We have, gosh, I can't even think of them. Hopin. You need to be okay with using those, and you need to kind of showcase that, okay, I'm okay with the technology. Because what's happening now is that people are still kind of afraid of the tech, and they're showing up late to their speaking gigs. That's not cool. That's not cool to show up late to a gig. And also, you need to be better at video editing. If you're going to be doing on demand and pre-recorded sessions, you got to get your editing skills together, because a lot of this is just, being able to show up and do some really cool things on camera. All right. So any questions about that, just let me know. But it is time to kind of make that investment if you can, either in learning the gear that you have or purchasing more gear. All right. Shay is saying, okay, Shay, love the advice. That's great. Annie is in Montenegro. It's almost dinner time. Oh gosh, what are you having for dinner? I don't know what we're having. We're packing up. We're leaving tomorrow, so we're not going to cook. Lunch break is over for Allison. All right, so we're good on the gear, but I'm just letting you know, as we get more into this virtual, you're going to have to really focus on what that is going to look like for you, and not just becoming a talking head. So this is my fifth point. You need to be not just a talking head. Like right now, I'm kind of limited in Zoom with what I can do. But if you were ever to come to any of my virtual presentations, my screens are moving. I have things on the screen. I am switching between scenes. I'm switching between cameras. Like I said, I am the Beyonce of sitting here trying to figure out tech. You don't have to be like that, but I'm just letting you know that it's something that you might have to look for. Like even now, I just learned the keystroke to switch cameras here on on Zoom. So that's kind of cool. I actually work with multiple cameras so that I can look this way and that way. But like I said, you want to be more than a talking head. Even with your graphics, if you don't know Canva yet, Canva is about to become your best friend. So you need better graphics. You need to learn how to talk with your PowerPoints. You don't want to put a whole bunch of words on there. Everybody doesn't pay attention to them. But if you just want to put up pictures, you need to just get better. All of this is around practicing and practicing and practicing. You need to learn how to emote through the camera, exaggerate all of your facial features, and like, oh my gosh, you don't want to. Hi, Allison. You don't want to be that person, okay? So you're gonna have to practice all of this stuff, and we've seen it. How many of you been on presentations where you rather be sleeping? So you're gonna have to learn how to engage through the camera and make sure you're talking to people at the same time. You're edutaining, so you're a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of education, and then you need to understand the triple audience. The triple audience means you need to learn how to talk to 3 different audiences at the same time. I got to talk to the live audience, and that's you here. So I'm talking to Teresa, Frederica, or that's the live audience. I'm saying, hey, what's up to all of you, and Lisa and Caitlin and Cassette. I'm like saying hello to you, but also recognizing that I'm about to have an on-demand audience. Not everybody was here live, so I have to let everybody know. For those of you who are watching later, if you got questions, put them in the comment box. I will be able to talk to you soon. So you got to learn all these different audiences, your on-demand audience, your pre-recorded audience, and your live audience. And this is one thing that virtual will teach you, is that you're going to have to talk to all these people at the same time and not missing a step with it. And then finally, like I was saying, everything is about being visually pleasing. I'm not just talking about your physical looks or anything like that. I mean, do comb your hair, take a shower, put some pants on, that helps. But visually pleasing with your background, with the sound, with your graphics, all of this is just to be as visually pleasing as possible. All right. And then of course, being virtual, you just have to let people know, like, hey, I'm in a hotel, there's people outside partying. Stuff happens, but I'm here with you because I love you. All right. And then here's my final thing that I'm going to say, then we will go and I'll answer questions. The thing with speaking, virtual speaking, live speaking, any speaking, is that you got to be consistent and persistent. A lot of us think that we can just show up and do this 1 hour a week, and then we can be on stage with Oprah or flying planes with Richard Branson. It really doesn't work that way. Okay. And I have a lot of people come to me like, hey, I just want to get on stage and make as much money as possible. It can happen, but it may take a little bit longer than what you think. But the biggest thing is, if this is something that you want to do, you're going to have to be consistent with the content that you're putting out there. You're going to have to be consistent with pitching and reaching out to people. And you're going to have to be consistent with showing up. I always tell people that I work with, give yourself a good 1 year to do this and just focus your butt off. Okay. You're going to have to focus your butt off. And the thing is, you're going to have to make the time. I call it an opportunity day. Make sure there is one day on your account in your week, 8 hours. This is all you focus on. Virtual speaking opportunities, finding the people that need you, working on your content, and then pitching. You're going to have to put this on the calendar. If you're doing this like for 1 hour every other month, you're not going to get the results that you probably are looking for. Okay. You need to research and network. You got to start opening up your world to people who are getting on stage, to people who have stages, and to people who can connect you. The beautiful thing I have gotten out of traveling and speaking is that I get to meet people in different countries. So even though I didn't travel last year for any live events, I was able to do a lot of virtual events in different countries. So you might want to, I mean, it's not a might, you just need to expand your network. There's an amazing network here in Wonderful. Last time we were at WITS, I mean, how many of you are going to WITS in Kansas City next year? Just sitting in that room, there were 5 people who raised their hand who ran different events, from chocolate festivals to wine tasting festivals, just in that room. Because people were saying, Felicia, how do I go and find these gigs? Like, and I just said, who runs an event? And people raise their hands. So this is where you're going to have to be bold and shameless with asking for what it is that you want and reaching out to people. And also you need to start pitching. That's it. You need to start pitching. Just like Allison identified that there were groups that are in the niche, then you need to start reaching out to them and just saying, hey, what does it take to become a virtual presenter for your organization? And you got to bring in the goods. Like I said, what is it that you bring to the table? You got to show off that website, got to show off that content, and you got to showcase that you are an expert. And then you got to be okay with not this time, not at this time, not this time. We don't need a speaker. People will say no. That's okay. A stat that I didn't give you in the beginning, when the world was like operating, and we're getting back to that point, there are over 5,000 plus events happening each day in the United States alone. So that is a little over 1.9 million events happening every day. So if you say that you can't find anybody who needs the speaker, please don't bring that sob story to me, because I've seen just about all of them. The thing is, like I said, you're just going to have to focus. There is a stage for you. I research them, I find them. You're just going to have to kind of dig in and just say, this is what we're going to do, and give yourself 90 days just to get into that habit. And then it'll all start working for you. Okay. It will work for you. Annie is going to miss WITS. I'll be taking a group of ladies to Scotland at the same time. Oh, that's kind of cool. I'll be in Kansas City in the RV. So you got to start looking at all of these things that are around you. And then finally, I do have a survey. I'm going to put that link in the comment box, but I'm going to open this up. Please, if you have any questions, seriously, just ask me now. I've been doing this I've been a speaker for, oh gosh, it's my anniversary month for business. I've been doing this for about 7 years now, 5 years with speaking, and going on 3 years doing the research part of all of this. I've seen every aspect of it. There, like I said, there are no silly questions. So if this is something that you want to do, I'm here right now, and ask me the question. Um, even from anything from how to get started to putting together a talk, I am here for you. And while I go and find the link so that I can put in the comment box, I will be waiting because I know you have all the questions for me. Okay, so the link for the survey, if I was useful, just tell Marissa that I was amazing and you loved everything that I said today. That's the link for the survey for Wonderful. They just want to start keeping up with whether or not our content is good for you. So any questions? I know we talked about a lot. We talked about a whole heck of a lot of stuff. Am I still sharing? I'm going to stop sharing right now. So we talked about a lot from, making sure that you're persistent with getting the gigs, asking yourself, what is it that you bring to the table, showing credibility, upgrading your gear. And all of these things are not, let me do one first and then the other. These are all like parallel things that need to happen as you go. Baby steps are fine, but these are all things that you're going to have to keep doing in parallel with each other so that you can become better. You don't have to be perfect. You just need to keep getting better and better and better. Now, with that, I'm going to start asking some questions. Does anyone have any speaking gigs coming up? Do you have any gigs coming up? And what are your goals when it comes to this virtual speaking gigs? Or were you just on here and you're just kind of curious what this is all about? So just kind of give me an idea of where you want to go if you have goals. And if you're brand new to this, Cosette said, they were just curious. Hey, Cosette, I hope I was curious enough for you to stay. So yes, just kind of give me some idea if you're curious, and tell me a little bit more about your brand and if you are looking to get into a particular industry. And that's going to be the biggest thing for all of you, is finding the right industry or group to get in front of, and then understanding how they do things so that you can present yourself as a virtual option for them when it comes to presenting. All right. We're good. Everybody good here? I love when everybody's saying, Annie's diving. Annie is asking, in talks with the Women's Travel Fest to speak. The Women's Travel Fest in March. Ooh, that sounds cool. Stay on top of that. Yeah, have a follow-up system, Annie, because a lot of people will reach out one time and, oh, I never heard from them. Be consistent with that follow-up, every week. Just like, hey, I just let you know I'm doing, here's a testimonial if you're wondering how great I am. Mostly curious. I've got a few different projects going that will need my focus right now. I definitely want to have this info for when I have the bandwidth to make it a thing. Yeah, Annie brought up a really good point. The thing with speaking is a lot of us think that we can just add it on to whatever we're doing. I'm writing a book right now, so I'm just going to start speaking. Oh my gosh, or I'm building a house, I'm just going to start speaking. One thing about speaking is it literally is like starting a business. It's establishing yourself, having the assets to market yourself, and then having the bandwidth, like Annie said, having the bandwidth to dedicate the time. Because if you don't dedicate the time to this, you won't get what you want out of it. And hate to say it, you can't pay someone to make it happen for you. The thing is, a lot of folks will come to me like, hey, just make me a speaker and get me on stage. Like, well, that costs you $3,000 a month. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, miracles are expensive when you want somebody else to do them for you. So you got to be able to put your own, can I have your hand in the bag or have your foot in this as well? Because I don't know what it is that you bring to the table, and I can't put you on stage when we don't have the right assets and we don't have the right marketing behind it. So just know that if this is something that you want to do, give yourself 90 days to make a straight focus. Like for 90 days, this is all I'm going to focus on. And then if you decide that you want more from it, then the year after that, this is all you're doing. In addition to other things, but this is going to be a priority. Truth right there. Yes, Annie. Like if you got all this other stuff going on, I know we try to say, I don't know, the pandemic has made me realize that multitasking is for the birds. Focus on one thing and get it right the first time, because speaking is an evolving thing. It's not a thing that you can conquer right now. And in checkbox, I became a speaker. Now it's something evolve. It's an evolving thing. If you want to get better, it's like you're going to keep learning as you go. Frederica, am I saying it? What? Frederica. Let me know if I'm saying it right. I'm a psychologist that focuses on helping women be their authentic self, looking for platforms or events to speak at. All right. And this is the thing with Frederica. I'm glad that you brought this up, because if that's okay with you, Frederica, I want to use you kind of as a guinea pig. So, and not as a negative thing, but just something I want you to kind of really focus on. So Frederica has the credibility, has the medical credibility, has psychology, things like that. That's great. So we need to focus on that, because Frederica needs to she needs to quantify her experience. I've been doing this for 20 years, work with 3,000 women. Here's what I bring to the table when it comes to you being your authentic self. Now, the other part, that's the first part that is great. Now, the second part is, Frederica, who is this audience? Now, we have the avatar, but we need to find, where is this avatar sitting in the room? So Frederica is saying, I'm looking for women to be their authentic selves. All right. So we know there's a lot of women in this world. What kind of women are we looking for? Are we looking for moms? Are we looking for attorneys? Are we looking for women real estate agents? Are we looking for women travelers? Are we looking for women in psychology? Are we looking for women in medical fields? And this is where, Frederica, you'll have to kind of start doing that bit of work, because what happens with me is you'll come to me and say, I want to be a speaker. And it's like, okay, who are we talking to? And you say women. Okay, my brain, remember, I'm the STEM brain here. Like, okay, there's like a billion women on this planet. What kind of women we're looking for, you know? So then we kind of narrow down to what's going on in these women's lives. Like, how can we get in front of them? Because remember, the goal is, we're not just talking to women, but we need to find those particular women that might be in a room all together. And if you can't figure that out pretty quickly, where can I find those women? Because not many people are running around saying, I'm not authentic, I need a conference for that. Usually these women are sitting at a medical conference or at a trampoline conference, at a cookie conference, and it's just whatever they're doing in their day jobs just isn't working out for them. So this is where we have to start finding the industry so that we can reach out to them. So Frederica, this is where I would say for you, either we lean on your past experience, and so we'll go to some of these conferences that may have these women, or we're going to step outside of your comfort zone. And let's just say Frederica likes to eat cookies. So we're going to hit every cookie conference in the world, because now Frederica loves cookies, knows everything about cookies, makes them for the family, and then but has that extra level of credibility being a psychologist working with women for 20 years. So now we can throw all these things in one pot. Now Frederica can get on more stages. So let me know, Frederica, if that makes any sense whatsoever. All right. So this is sometimes where we have to be very creative with your knowledge and who we're going to present it to. And so for all of you, if you do want to work with women, just ask yourself, what kind of women? And not just the characteristics of, or the internal characters of women who want to be authentic, but like, what are they doing in their day jobs? What are they doing in their everyday life? Are they directors of something? Are they executives? Because now we can go and find those women, and we can tailor your message and your skills to what they need. All right. Thank you for letting me use you as a guinea pig, Frederica. And so let me know if that helped. Yep, Frederica said it helped. Anybody else? Because we got like 15 minutes. Anybody else? This is kind of fun if I could actually say all of my words at the same time. And like I said, here is the survey for wonderful to kind of give feedback on this. Also, for those of you who RSVP'd inside of the wonderful platform, the link is in the event as well. But yeah, let me know if anybody else needs any help. Otherwise, I'm going to start winding this down with all of the things that you need to do. And like I said, with the outlook of virtual, it really isn't going anywhere. A lot of people thought when we went back to live events, all this stuff would go away. No, it's not going away. It's going to be here for a while, but it's getting very unique in how they're offering virtual. And what I'm seeing is a lot of pre-recorded virtual events. So that means you have to set yourself up a little differently. What are you selling? What are you trying to market? Because remember, you're not going to have a live audience. They're going to watch you later. So you better be bringing your A game, and your A game needs to have something else that they can book from you. I don't want you to do a lot of virtual presentations that you don't get anything out of it. Okay. So just kind of pay attention to that. Like I said, if you can come check out I Find You Close. We send out virtuals. We send out speaking opportunities every week if you're curious about what that looks like and all the things that you need in order to get on those stages. Siobhan, let me know if I'm saying your name properly. Thank you. I was just curious to learn a little bit more about virtual speaking. I'm glad that you were curious and stopped by. I'm going to be your travel entrepreneur expert, and it'll be every 3 months that I'll pop in and talk about speaking gigs. Next month, if you want to do something fun, we're going to talk about RV life and how to work in this with, a dog laying here and a husband behind me in a small space and having to turn the AC off to do virtual presentations and how not to sweat on camera. So next month I'm going to be talking about the RV life for any of you who are curious of what that life looks like and how to bring your work with you. And then in December, we're going to be talking about money, going back to my roots in money coaching. So we're going to talk about managing your finances. So I'm just excited to be here. I'll be here every month. I've been in here every month for like the last 2 years, but I'll definitely be here again. You can go find me at Keep Up with Mrs. Jones on Instagram. All I'm gonna do is talk about getting lost in a kayak for 3 hours and getting dehydrated. Oh, because we bought a brand new kayak. It's so fun. With that, everyone, thank you so very much. I hope you got a lot out of this. Don't forget to do the survey. And go check out all of the other resident experts, and I will see you next month. Bye, y'all.